can't shoot.
The PlayStation 2, PS2, is renowned for its extensive and diverse library of games, many of which have achieved classic status. However, amidst the well-known titles, several hidden gems have been overlooked over time. These games, while not achieving mainstream success, have garnered cult followings and are celebrated for their unique gameplay, storytelling, and innovation. In this marvelous video, we take a look at some such games and explore what makes them the hidden gems that we just keep coming back to from time to time. Let's go! Shadow Hearts Covenant, 2004. Shadow Hearts Covenant is a standout RPG set in an alternate 1915 during World War I, combining historical events with supernatural elements and Lovecraftian horror. The story follows the German Army Lieutenant Karin and returning hero from the last game Yuri, as they battle the sinister secret society named Sapientes Gladio. The narrative is rich and engaging, with a mix of dark themes and comic relief, and a surprising twist involving Yuri's lineage that keeps players hooked. The production of Covenant was quite ambitious, with a revamped battle system introducing the Judgment Ring, a timing-based mechanic that adds a layer of strategy to turn-based combat. The game also features a combo system that rewards skilled players, making battles feel dynamic and rewarding. The music's also quite dynamic and emotional, perfectly complementing the game's tone. The graphics, while not cutting-edge by today's standards, were impressive for the time, with detailed character models and pleasant background settings. Overall, Covenant received critical acclaim for its innovative mechanics, brand of humor and horror, as well as compelling story, and is a unique experience worth revisiting. Maximo, Ghosts to Glory, 2001. Maximo, Ghosts to Glory is a delightful throwback to the golden age of gaming, blending the charm of the Ghosts and Goblins universe with modern 3D action-adventure elements. The story follows Maximo, a brave king who returns from war to find his kingdom in shambles and his queen forced into marriage by the treacherous Akil. The game features 5 expansive worlds, each with unique stages and formidable bosses. Ghosts to Glory is a nostalgic nod to old-school mechanics, with Maximo battling hordes of enemies using his sword and shield, losing armor with each hit until he's down to his boxer shorts. Visually, the game impresses with its detailed character designs and immersive environmental effects, making each level a visual treat. The music includes orchestrated remixes of classic tracks, adding to the overall experience. The game's frequently considered among the top 10 most challenging PS2 games ever. Ghosts to Glory successfully merges nostalgic gameplay with modern graphics and mechanics, offering a rewarding experience for both old fans and new players. Its combination of humor, challenge, and classic action makes it a must-play, even today. Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil, 2001. Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil is a platformer that's left a lasting impression on gamers and follows Klonoa, the dream traveler, as he embarks on a quest to save the enchanting world of Lunatea. The story's rich with charming characters like Lolo, a priestess in training, and Popka, a dog-like sidekick, who aid Klonoa in his journey. The narrative is both heartwarming and engaging, with light-hearted and emotional moments. Klonoa 2 is a treat to look at, with vibrant, colourful graphics that bring the world of Lunatea to life. The sounds range from sometimes arbitrary to quite epic. The mechanics of Klonoa 2 is a good representation of 2D side-scrolling within a 3D rendered environment. Players navigate through various levels called visions using Klonoa's wind bullet to capture enemies and solve puzzles. The game introduces unique mechanics from its predecessor as well, such as using enemies to double jump or break barriers. Despite its commercial underperformance, Klonoa 2 has been recognized as one of the best platformers of its time, and is considered a PS2 gem because of its innovative gameplay mechanics, a captivating story, and beautiful presentation into a single enjoyable package. Even today, it stands out. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, 2005. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction is an action-adventure game that lets the player unleash the full power of the Hulk in an open-world environment, focusing on free-roaming gameplay and environmental destruction. The story follows Bruce Banner as he tries to mend his psyche with the help of his psychotherapist. The narrative is dark and intense, but the game balances it with trivial side missions like playing golf with giant clubs. The controls of the game are great, and the Hulk is capable of jumping great distances, running up walls and using anything as a weapon, from lampposts to cars. The combat's instinctive and satisfying. The graphics capture the chaos and destruction, with the Hulk and his enemies being well animated. Critics praised the game for its faithful recreation of the Hulk's power and the sheer fun of causing chaos. While the story and missions received mixed reviews, the overall experience was praised for its depth and enjoyment. Despite not being a commercial hit, likely due to the lack of a film tie-in, Ultimate Destruction is considered a hidden gem. Vampire Knight, 2001. Vampire Knight is a light gun game that plunges players into a gothic struggle between light and dark, featuring vampire hunters Michel and Albert, who are revealed to be half vampires themselves. The story unfolds in a French village in 2006, where the hunters rescue a young girl named Caroline and battle through a castle to defeat the forces of darkness. The plot is surprisingly detailed for a light gun game, adding a layer of depth to the shooting action. The aesthetics of Vampire Knight creates a moody, atmospheric setting that complements the game's dark theme. The music and sound effects add to the tension, enhancing the overall experience. Playing the game is engaging in classic rail shooting, reminiscent of the House of the Dead series, with players using light guns to blast through waves of undead enemies. The mechanics are straightforward but satisfying, making it easy to pick up and play. The game received mixed to positive reviews, with praise for its fun factor despite its simplicity. It wasn't as deep as other light gun games, but still quite enjoyable. The detailed plot, as mentioned above, received kudos. Despite its age, the game remains relevant and worth revisiting for its engaging story, making it a fun, nostalgic and memorable experience that stands the test of time. War of the Monsters, 2003. War of the Monsters is a thrilling fighting game set in the aftermath of a 1950s alien invasion, featuring a unique plot where alien fuel leaks transform animals, humans and robots into colossal monsters battling for dominance. The gameplay is an homage to classic kaiju films, allowing players to control these giant creatures in destructible city environments. Unlike traditional fighting games, War of the Monsters offers a free roaming experience where up to 4 monsters can brawl simultaneously, using the environment as weapons. Mechanics include health and stamina bars, with special attacks and environmental interactions adding depth to the combat. The visuals, inspired by 1950s sci-fi aesthetics, are vibrant and detailed, bringing the monstrous chaos to life. The music complements the retro theme well, enhancing the overall experience. Critics praised War of the Monsters for its style, monster selection and destructible environments, highlighting its inspiration from classic monster movies and lauding its joy for sheer destruction. Despite some criticisms about the camera and AI, the game received generally favorable reviews. The engaging gameplay, nostalgia and sheer fun make it a favorite among fans of monster battles and retro gaming. Okage Shadow King, 2001. Okage Shadow King is a quirky and charming RPG that follows a quiet 16-year-old boy named Ari, who becomes the reluctant servant of the evil King Stan after his sister is cursed by a ghost. The music complements the game's offbeat atmosphere, and aesthetically, it stands out with its slightly bizarre art style, featuring exaggerated characters and surreal environments that enhance its quirky narrative. Shadow King involves traditional RPG elements like exploring towns, traversing the outer world, and delving into dungeons. Combat is turn-based, with characters having both hit and magic points. Unique to the game is Ari's shadow, Stan, who can unleash powerful magic attacks. The game also features warp pillars for quick travel and a combo attack system that has strategic depth to battles. Reviewers praised Shadow King's unique story and art style, but had mixed feelings about its gameplay mechanics. Despite this, it's garnered a cult following over the years. The game's considered a hidden gem on the PS2 because of its distinctiveness, memorable characters, and unique visual style. It offers a refreshing departure from typical RPGs, making it a favorite for fans of the genre looking for something different.
We're looking to do a bit of industrial sabotage here. But I'm pretty light on Semtex right now, so what's the plan?
Just give me a moment.
Primal, 2003. Primal is an action-adventure horror game following Jennifer Tate, a 21-year-old woman on a quest to find her missing boyfriend through a series of demonic realms. The production values of the game are top-notch, with high-quality graphics that were impressive for its time, and a killer soundtrack featuring tracks by the electronic rock band 16 Volt and orchestral pieces performed by the City of Prague Philharmonic Orchestra. Players can switch between Jen and her gargoyle companion Scree, each with unique abilities essential for solving puzzles and combat. Jen can transform into various demonic forms, enhancing her combat skills, while Scree can climb walls and store energy to heal Jen. Despite its intriguing mechanics, the game received mixed reviews, with critics praising its production and music but criticizing its combat system and camera quirks. A lot of reviewers highlighted its excellent graphical presentation and soundtrack, while some found the combat and exploration lacking. However, Primal remains a great game worth playing today for its engaging story, atmospheric design, and the nostalgia of early 2000s gaming. It's a testament to the era's creativity and ambition in game development. Urban Chaos Riot Response 2006. Urban Chaos Riot Response is a first-person shooter set in a gritty, unnamed American city, where players step into the boots of Nick Mason, a member of the elite T-0 Riot Control Squad. The city's under siege by the Burners, a violent gang armed with cleavers, Molotov bombs, and firearms. The game's quite intense and action-packed, with players tasked with rescuing civilians, capturing gang leaders, and restoring order using a variety of firearms. The multiplayer mode of the game had a lot of replay value and boasted a lot of players at one point. Powered by the Havoc engine, the looks of Riot Response are impressive for the time, with detailed environments and realistic physics. The sound design, including the music, complements the chaotic atmosphere, immersing players in the urban warfare setting. The mechanics are solid, with responsive controls and a satisfying progression system. Despite receiving average reviews, the game's garnered a cult following. Its unique premise and engaging gameplay make it a standout title. Disaster Report 2003. Disaster Report is a survival action-adventure game that places players in the shoes of a reporter named Keith Helm, who must navigate the crumbling Stiver Island after a catastrophic earthquake. The production of the game is notable for its unique premise, focusing on survival and escape rather than combat, which was a refreshing change from the typical action games of the era. The story is gripping, as players must dodge falling buildings, navigate through debris, and find a way off the island while uncovering the reasons behind the disaster. The gameplay mechanics emphasize survival, requiring players to manage Keith's thirst and health while interacting with other survivors to progress. The game's visuals capture the chaos and destruction of a city in ruins, adding to the immersive experience. The music and sound design complement the tense atmosphere, with appropriate ambient sounds and a fitting soundtrack. Despite some clunky controls and occasional camera issues, Disaster Report received praise for its innovative approach and engaging narrative. It stands out because it offers a unique experience that focuses on human resilience and survival in the face of natural disasters. Its emphasis on exploration and problem-solving over combat makes it a memorable and worthwhile play, even today. Grimoire 2007. Grimoire is a real-time strategy game that stands out for its unique blend of 2D side-scrolling gameplay and captivating narrative. The game follows Lilith Blan, a trainee witch trapped in a 5-day time loop at the Tower of Silver Star, a magical school under siege by an evil wizard. The production of Grimoire was a labor of love, born from the creators' desire to create their version of StarCraft with a fantasy twist, drawing inspiration from Harry Potter as well. The game involves commanding units called Familiars, each tied to one of 4 magical schools: glamour, alchemy, necromancy, and sorcery. In a rock-paper-scissors dynamic, players must strategically manage resources and units across multi-floored battlefields, all while navigating the fog of war. The game's mechanics are intuitive yet challenging, with a variety of commands and the necessity to gather mana to summon units. The graphics, characterized by the studio's signature 2D art style, were praised for their beauty, despite some repetitive elements in the battle arenas. The voice acting added a fresh layer to the game's presentation. Upon release, Grimoire garnered generally favorable reviews, with critics lauding its innovative approach to RTS gameplay on consoles and its captivating story. However, some pointed out issues with the controls and audio quality. Despite its commercial failure, the game has since been recognized as a hidden gem on the PS2, thanks to its engaging narrative and strategic as well as artistic depth. It's a title that continues to draw players even decades later. Griffon Blaze 2000. Griffon Blaze is a vehicle simulation game that throws players into the cockpit of massive mechs, delivering a thrilling single-player experience that sets the stage for intense mech battles in a war-torn future. The game offers a mix of strategic planning and fast-paced action. Players must manage their mech's resources while navigating diverse terrains and engaging in explosive combat. The controls are intuitive, making it easy to jump into the action, yet deep enough to keep players engaged. Griffon Blaze's music and sound effects complement the high-octane gameplay, with a soundtrack that ramps up the tension during battles. Graphically, the game showcases the early capabilities of the PS2, with detailed mech designs and immersive environments. The mechanics are solid, with responsive controls and a satisfying sense of weight and power to the mechs. Critically, Griffon Blaze received mixed to positive reviews with praise for its engaging gameplay and solid mechanics, while others noted it as an almost revolutionary entry in the mech genre. Despite not being the top mech game of its time, it was a runner-up for many awards. Overall, the game is considered a gem because it captures the essence of mech warfare with a balance of strategy and action that remains enjoyable. Its nostalgic value, combined with solid gameplay mechanics, makes it a title worth revisiting for fans of the genre as well as newcomers alike. Lifeline, 2003. Lifeline is a unique survival horror adventure set aboard a space hotel under siege by monstrous creatures. The game stands out for its innovative voice command system, where players guide the protagonist, Rio Hohenheim, using the PS2's microphone to issue commands. This voice interface, while groundbreaking, was also the game's Achilles heel, often criticized for its unreliable speech recognition. The story follows the player trapped in the control room as they help Rio navigate the perilous space station to find the player's girlfriend Naomi and uncover the mystery behind the monstrous outbreak. The gameplay is a mix of puzzle solving, combat, and exploration, all directed through voice commands. Players can instruct Rio to perform various actions, from simple movements to complex battle strategies, though the system's accuracy can be hit or miss. The visuals capture well the eerie atmosphere of the space station, and the music complements the tension and horror elements quite well. Despite its mixed reviews, Lifeline has maintained a cult following. Critics praised its ambition and the depth of its voice mechanics, but criticized the frustratingly inconsistent speech recognition. However, the game's unique approach and the bond players form with Rio through direct communication make it a memorable experience. Lifeline's considered a diamond in the rough because it dared to innovate and offered a gameplay experience unlike any other. Ghost Hunter, 2003. Ghost Hunter is a third-person shooter that blends action and horror elements. The game follows rookie detective Lazarus Jones, who accidentally releases a horde of ghosts and must navigate various ghost realms to recapture them and save his partner, Anna Steele. The production of Ghost Hunter aimed to create a dark, atmospheric experience, drawing inspiration from horror films and games like Metal Gear Solid 2. The game involves switching between third-person exploration and combat modes, with unique mechanics like capturing ghosts using capture grenades and controlling a spirit named Astral for puzzle solving. The look of Ghost Hunter is a standout feature, praised for its film-quality visuals and atmospheric design, which fully utilize the PS2's capabilities. The sound design and music complement the eerie ambiance, enhancing the overall experience. However, the game received mixed reviews due to its linearity, shortness, and clunky combat mechanics. Critics appreciated the game's aesthetics but found the gameplay lacking in depth and challenge. Despite its flaws, Ghost Hunter is considered a great game because of its unique take on horror and action, impressive graphics, and engaging story. It's a trip in time worth taking for fans of the genre, offering a visually stunning and entertaining experience that still holds up today.
There may be people still trapped inside.
Where did it start? I can't believe...
Firefighter FD18, 2004. Firefighter FD18 brings a unique twist to the action genre and follows Dean McGregor, a top-notch firefighter, as he battles a series of infernos possibly ignited by an arsonist, with the news reporter tagging along for the ride. Players are thrust into the boots of a firefighter, tasked with clearing fiery zones, rescuing civilians, and facing off against fire bosses. Armed with an axe, fire hose, and extinguisher, players must navigate through obstacles like falling beams and hazardous chemicals, all while racing against the clock. The gameplay is intense and engaging, with each stage presenting new challenges and requiring quick thinking and reflexes. The visuals display accurately the urgency and danger of firefighting, with flames and smoke creating a great sense of danger. The soundtrack adds to the atmosphere, heightening the tension and drama of each rescue mission. Despite its innovative concept, Firefighter FD18 received mixed reviews, with critics praising its unique premise and thrilling gameplay, but noting some repetitive mechanics and average graphics. However, it's precisely this blend of originality and heart-pounding action that makes Firefighter FD18 a hidden gem on the PS2. It's a game that stands out for its daring approach to the action genre, offering a fresh experience. Sky Gunner, 2002. Sky Gunner is a 3D third-person combat flight simulation game that combines steampunk aesthetics with engaging aerial combat. The game follows the adventures of three ace pilots, Ciel, Copan, and Femme, tasked with protecting the Eternal Engine from the evil Ventre during a town celebration aboard the luxury airship Merveilleux. The game's a good mix of open-air flying and combat, where players can perform acrobatic maneuvers and engage in intense battles against a variety of enemies. The controls are intuitive, making it accessible for both casual and hardcore gamers. Visually, Sky Gunner impresses with its vibrant and detailed graphics, which bring the steampunk world to life. Upon its release, Sky Gunner received generally favorable reviews, gaining praise for its engaging gameplay, appealing art style, and solid mechanics, though some noted minor issues with camera angles and difficulty spikes. Despite these critiques, the game has maintained a loyal fan base and is often regarded as a hidden gem of the PS2 era. Way of the Samurai, 2002. Way of the Samurai is a captivating action-adventure game set in the tumultuous period of 19th century Japan. The game places players in the sandals of Kenji, a wandering samurai who stumbles into Rokotsu Pass, a village embroiled in a fierce power struggle between the government, the Kuru family, and the Akadama clan. The storyline's rich with historical context, offering a branching narrative that changes based on player choices, leading to 6 different endings. This dynamic storytelling is one of the game's standout features, making each playthrough unique. Gameplay is heavily focused on sword combat, with over 40 different types of swords to collect and master. Players can engage in intense battles utilizing a variety of moves, stances, and special attacks. The combat system is deep and rewarding, allowing for strategic play and customization of swords through enhancements. The game also includes a versus mode for 2 players, adding to its replayability. Upon release, the game received mixed to positive reviews. Critics praised its innovative branching plot and engaging combat, but noted some technical limitations. Despite this, Way of the Samurai stands out for its ability to offer a different experience with each playthrough, ensuring that players remain engaged and invested in the fate of Rokotsu Pass. Samurai Western, 2005. Samurai Western is a nice combo of samurai action and Wild West adventure. The game follows Gojiro Kiryu, a samurai on a mission to find his brother Rando in a lawless American land. The plot thickens as Gojiro confronts the tyrannical tycoon Goldberg, whose thugs have turned the region into a ghost town. The gameplay is a departure from the adventure elements of the Way of the Samurai series, focusing instead on intense action. Players wield various swords, each with unique abilities, and can deflect bullets and enter a powerful master mode. In 2-player mode, a second player can join as Ralph, a gunman with long-range attacks. The game's production values are solid. The graphics, while not groundbreaking, effectively capture the gritty, dusty feel of the Wild West. The mechanics are straightforward but satisfying, with a variety of sword styles and the ability to dodge and deflect bullets adding depth to the combat. Despite receiving mixed reviews, Samurai Western has a certain appeal that makes it a hidden gem on the PS2. It's a game that stands out for its bold concept and entertaining gameplay, offering a trip back to an era when game developers weren't afraid to experiment. The Red Star, 2007. The Red Star is a hidden gem from the PlayStation 2 era that deserves a revisit. Based on the graphic novel of the same name, the game transports players to a futuristic magic-infused Soviet Union. The story is rich with imaginative elements, featuring floating sky furnaces and powerful warcasters. The gameplay is a balanced combo of beat-em-up and shooter genres, viewed from an isometric perspective. Players can choose from 3 characters: the swift Makita, the strong and resilient Kyuzo, and the balanced Maya, who's unlocked after completing the game once. The RPG elements allow for character upgrades, adding depth to the combat experience. Graphically, the Red Star holds up well, with its detailed environments and fluid animations. The story is filled with dramatic twists, mystical elements, and a struggle for liberation, which adds layers of depth to the gameplay. This is in stark contrast to many action games that often prioritize action over storytelling. The Red Star has since garnered a cult following. The game's engaging story and solid mechanics make it a standout title, taking players back to an era of innovative game design.
Choco Time Hard.
Ark the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits, 2003. Ark the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits marks a significant entry in the Ark the Lad series as the first game to transition into 3D on the PlayStation 2. This tactical RPG is set 1,000 years after Ark the Lad 3, and follows the intertwined fates of hybrid twins Karg and Dark. The narrative is rich with tension between humans and the Demos, a race of humanoid monsters, as the twins embark on a quest to collect 5 magical spirit stones, each driven by their own motives and the looming threat of the autocratic Dillsweld Empire. The gameplay retains the tactical roots of its predecessors but innovates with a circular movement system, allowing for more dynamic combat scenarios. Players navigate through various towns and continents, engaging in battles that require strategic positioning and the use of spirit stones for special attacks. The game features a robust cast of characters, each with unique abilities, and the ability to switch between Karg and Dark's perspectives adds depth to the storytelling. Musically, Twilight of the Spirits excels with a captivating score that enhances the game's epic feel, though the voice acting has been a point of contention among critics. Visually, the game impresses with its detailed environments and character models, a notable achievement for its time. Despite some criticisms regarding the lack of side quests and balance issues, the game received generally positive reviews and praise for its engaging battle system and interwoven storylines. 7 Samurai 20XX 2004. 7 Samurai 20XX is a hack-and-slash game that reimagines Akira Kurosawa's classic film 7 Samurai in a futuristic post-apocalyptic setting. The game features character designs by the renowned French artist Mobius and a soundtrack composed by the legendary Ryuichi Sakamoto, adding a unique artistic flair and auditory experience. The story follows Natoe, a samurai who, along with 6 other warriors, defends a village from an onslaught of mutants, cyborgs, and other inhuman creatures. The gameplay is centered around fast-paced combat, utilizing a twin-sword fighting style known as Nitu Ryu, which allows for impressive combo attacks and special maneuvers like Just Guard and Just Step. Visually, 7 Samurai 20XX offers a mix of anime and modern styles, creating a vibrant yet gritty atmosphere that complements its narrative. The mechanics, while straightforward, provide a satisfying hack-and-slash experience, though some critics found the combat system overly simplistic. The game has been appreciated for its ambitious attempt to mix classic storytelling with futuristic elements. 7 Samurai 20XX may not have achieved critical acclaim, but its distinctive style and homage to a cinematic masterpiece make it a worthwhile experience. Castle Shikigami 2 2004. Castle Shikigami 2 is a vertically scrolling shooter that stands out for its quirky nature and intense gameplay, set in a fantastical version of Tokyo. The story revolves around a mysterious castle that appears in the sky, prompting a battle between humans and gods. Players choose from a roster of 8 unique characters, each with distinct weapons and abilities to navigate through 5 stages filled with relentless enemies and challenging bosses. The gameplay is a classic bullet hell experience, enhanced by the tension bonus system, which rewards players for daringly grazing enemy bullets to boost their score multipliers. The game's graphics are vibrant and colorful, effectively capturing the anime-inspired aesthetic. The music complements the high-energy action with a mix of catchy and atmospheric tracks. One of the game's most memorable aspects is its English dialogue, despite its mixed critical reception, with some reviewers criticizing its simplistic mechanics and translation issues. Castle Shikigami 2 has garnered a cult following. Its fast-paced action, unique character abilities, and the sheer thrill of dodging intricate bullet patterns makes it a hidden gem on the PS2. Blood Will Tell 2004. Blood Will Tell, Tezuka Osamu's Dororo, is an action-adventure game that follows the gripping tale of Hyakimaru, a samurai whose body parts were stolen by 48 fiends at birth. With prosthetic replacements and the help of a young thief named Dororo, Hyakimaru embarks on a quest to reclaim his body parts by defeating these fiends. The game's production is notable for its collaboration with renowned artists who contributed to the character and fiend designs, respectively. The gameplay is a mix of hack-and-slash combat and exploration, with players controlling both Hyakimaru and Dororo in different segments. Hyakimaru's prosthetic limbs double as weapons, adding a unique twist to the combat mechanics. The story is divided into 9 chapters, each filled with intense battles and emotional moments, particularly the tragic family dynamics involving Hyakimaru's father and brother. The music complements the game's dark and mystical atmosphere, while the graphics, though dated by today's standards, were impressive for the PS2 era, capturing the eerie and feudal Japanese setting effectively. The game's compelling story, unique gameplay mechanics, and the emotional journey of its characters make it a memorable experience. Fans of action-adventure games and those interested in Japanese folklore will find Blood Will Tell a worthwhile play even today. Extermination 2001. Extermination is set in a top-secret American research facility in Antarctica, where the story follows U.S. Marine Corps Force Recon member Sergeant Dennis Riley and his squad, Team Red Light, as they respond to a distress call from Fort Stewart. The narrative unfolds with Dennis navigating the facility, battling mutated creatures, and uncovering a sinister experiment involving a deadly bacterium. Gameplay in Extermination is classic survival horror, emphasizing evasion over confrontation due to limited ammunition. Dennis starts with a customizable SPR-4 assault rifle and a combat knife, with the rifle capable of being upgraded with various attachments like a flamethrower or rocket launcher. The game introduces an infection system, where Dennis's health and infection rate are crucial to manage. If his infection rate hits 100%, his health depletes rapidly and he becomes more vulnerable to environmental hazards. The MTS bed, a special machine that cures infection and restores health, becomes a vital resource, though it requires the rare MTS vaccine. Extermination received mixed reviews, with critics praising its originality and minor improvements over similar games like Resident Evil, but noted its straightforward gameplay and subpar voice acting. Despite these criticisms, the game was appreciated for its fast-paced action and atmospheric tension. Silpheed, The Lost Planet, 2000. Silpheed, The Lost Planet is a vertical scrolling shooter that's a direct sequel to the original Silpheed and takes place 31 years after its predecessor. The story revolves around SA-77 Squadron Silpheed ships, tasked with defending the remaining human colonies from the alien Utu civilization, which has already decimated most of the solar system. The gameplay is classic shoot-'em-up fare, with players controlling a Silpheed ship through 8 stages filled with relentless waves of alien enemies. The game's presented at an oblique angle, giving it a unique visual style. Players can customize the ship's weapons at the start of each level, choosing from options like short-range bombs, double shots, and piercing lasers. Mid-level refueling segments allow players to swap out their weapons, keeping the action dynamic and engaging. The music complements the high-energy gameplay with a fittingly intense soundtrack. The graphics are quite solid for an early PS2 title, with detailed ship designs and vibrant explosions that keep the screen visually stimulating. The mechanics are smooth, with support for analog control and vibration functionality, enhancing the overall experience. Critics praised its visual style and fast-paced action, but noted that it lacked the innovation needed to stand out in the crowded shooting genre. Some reviewers appreciated its polished presentation, while other outlets were more reserved in their praise, citing its lack of depth and repetitive gameplay. Despite its mixed reception, Silpheed, The Lost Planet is considered a hidden gem on the PS2. For fans of the shoot-'em-up genre, it offers a challenging and visually appealing experience that holds up well even today.
Go get them, my pretties!
Dr. Muto, 2002. Dr. Muto is a quirky platformer that stands out for its unique premise and inventive gameplay. The game was the brainchild of Ed Logg, a legendary designer known for his work on classic arcade titles. The story follows the eccentric Dr. Muto, a mad scientist whose latest experiment goes disastrously wrong, resulting in the destruction of his home planet, Midway. To rebuild his world, Dr. Muto must traverse various neighboring planets, collecting organic matter and other resources. Armed with his Spliz gun, he can morph into different creatures, each with unique abilities essential for overcoming obstacles and enemies. This morphing mechanic is central to the gameplay, offering a refreshing twist on the traditional platformer formula. Gameplay in Dr. Muto is a blend of exploration, puzzle solving, and combat. Players must collect isotopes and DNA samples to unlock new morphs and gadgets. The game features 5 different morphs, each providing distinct gameplay experiences. The Spliz gun, which allows Dr. Muto to extract DNA, electrocute enemies, and shoot lasers, adds another layer of depth to the gameplay. Despite some design issues that make collecting all isotopes nearly impossible, the game only requires 80% completion to finish, which helps mitigate frustration. The graphics of the game are vibrant and imaginative, with each planet offering a visually distinct environment. The character designs are quirky and memorable, fitting well with the game's offbeat humor. Critics praised the game's humor, challenging gameplay and creative mechanics, but some noted issues with level design and difficulty spikes. For those looking to explore a game that dares to be different, Dr. Muto offers a delightful trip down memory lane. Project Snowblind, 2005. Project Snowblind is a first-person shooter originally conceived as a part of the Deus Ex series, but the game evolved into its own entity, retaining some of the gameplay elements from its roots. The story follows Nathan Frost, a soldier enhanced with nanotechnology after a near-fatal injury, who's thrust into a battle against the militant regime known as the Republic. The narrative's set in a futuristic 2065, where Frost must thwart the Republic's plan to plunge the world into a new dark age by detonating EMP bombs in major cities. The game's a mix of linear progression and tactical freedom, allowing players to choose between direct combat and stealthy approaches. It's packed with a variety of weapons, each with secondary fire modes and a range of grenades with unique effects. One standout feature is the Ice Pick device, which lets players hack enemy equipment and turn it against them. Frost's nanotechnology augmentations, which unlock progressively, add another layer of strategy, offering powers that can turn the tide of battle. The multiplayer mode, though criticized for its inactivity, mirrors the single-player experience with drivable vehicles and hackable devices, supporting up to 16 players in various modes. The music's an epic orchestral score with Eastern and ethnic elements, enhancing the game's immersive atmosphere. Graphically, Project Snowblind holds up well for its time, with detailed environments and fluid animations that bring the futuristic setting to life. There were praises for its entertaining gameplay and innovative mechanics, but its short length and the underwhelming multiplayer experience were criticized. Cold Winter, 2005. Cold Winter is a first-person shooter that stands out for its gritty realism and engaging narrative. The game features a story penned by renowned comic book writer Warren Ellis, Set against the backdrop of global espionage, the plot follows Andrew Sterling, a former British SAS soldier turned MI16 operative who finds himself imprisoned in China. Rescued by old allies, Sterling is thrust into a mission that takes him from the deserts of Egypt to the icy peaks of the Himalayas, all in a bid to thwart a nefarious plot involving nuclear weapons. Gameplay in Cold Winter is where the game truly shines. Utilizing the Karma physics engine, the game allows for a high degree of interactivity with the environment. Players can flip tables for cover, block doors with objects, and even dismember enemies in a manner reminiscent of Soldier of Fortune. The arsenal is extensive, featuring over 30 weapons, and players can craft gadgets and explosives from items found throughout the levels. The multiplayer mode, while limited to 4 players offline and 8 online, offers a variety of maps and modes, including Deathmatch and King of the Hill, providing a decent amount of replayability. Upon its release, Cold Winter received generally favorable reviews, with praise for its well-told story and enjoyable gameplay, though some noted that its graphics and sound were merely average. A lot of reviewers highlighted the game's engaging narrative, crafted by Warren Ellis, as a standout feature, even nominating it for Best Story of 2005. Space Chimps, 2008. Space Chimps, a platform video game based on the animated film of the same name and follows the adventures of Ham III, the grandson of the first chimpanzee in space, as he teams up with fellow astronauts Luna and Titan on a mission to an unknown planet. The plot mirrors the film, with the trio working together to defeat the villainous Sartog and rescue their friend. Space Chimps is a mix of platforming and action, where players control both Ham and Luna, navigating through various levels filled with enemies and obstacles. Collecting gumdrop-shaped objects called glob hoppers and bananas is a key part of the game, as these items unlock rewards such as character concepts, artwork, videos, and even a deleted scene from the movie. The game's mechanics are straightforward, making it accessible to younger audiences, but it also offers enough challenge to keep older players engaged. Visually, Space Chimps employs the Gamebryo engine, which delivers decent graphics for its time, though it may not stand out compared to other titles from the same era. The character models and environments are colourful and faithful to the film's aesthetic, providing a visually pleasing experience. The music and sound effects are serviceable, complementing the game's adventurous tone without being particularly memorable. Critically, the game received mixed to average reviews, with critics noting that while it had its moments, it ultimately fell short of being a standout title. Despite the lukewarm reception, Space Chimps has garnered a small but dedicated fan base over the years. In conclusion, Space Chimps is considered a hidden gem on the PS2, not because it revolutionized the platforming genre, but because it offers an experience that captures the essence of its source material. Endgame, 2002. Endgame is a rail shooter that throws players into a high-stakes narrative where they assume the role of Jade Cornell, a former operative of the European Security Bureau, ESB. The story kicks off with Jade's fiancé being kidnapped, propelling her into a mission to uncover a sinister conspiracy involving a rogue AI and a global threat. The plot, while not groundbreaking, provides a solid framework for the action-packed gameplay. As a rail shooter, players are guided along a predetermined path, focusing on aiming and shooting at enemies that pop up on screen. This style of gameplay is reminiscent of arcade classics like Time Crisis and House of the Dead, offering a nostalgic experience for fans of the genre. The controls are intuitive, making it easy for players to jump in and start blasting away. The game also features a variety of weapons and power-ups, adding some strategic depth to the otherwise straightforward shooting mechanics. The graphics are crisp and the environments are detailed, ranging from urban landscapes to high-tech facilities. The character models and animations are smooth, contributing to the overall immersive experience. The music and sound effects complement the action, with a dynamic soundtrack that ramps up during intense moments and more subdued tracks during quieter scenes. While the audio design isn't particularly memorable, it does its job in enhancing the game's atmosphere. The inclusion of a 2-player mode adds to the replayability, allowing friends to team up and tackle the game's challenges together. Upon its release, Endgame received mixed reviews, with critics praising its fun gameplay and solid mechanics, but noting its lack of innovation and relatively short length. Despite this, it's garnered a cult following over the years, with many players fondly remembering it as a hidden gem on the PS2. Legend of K, 2005. Legend of K is an action-adventure platformer that's managed to carve out a niche for itself as a cult classic. The game follows the journey of K, a young hot-headed cat and martial arts student in the mystical land of Yenqing. This land, once peaceful and prosperous under the guidance of a religious code called the Way, is now under the oppressive rule of gorillas and rats led by the sinister gorilla minister Shun and the rat alchemist Tak K, disillusioned by the complacency of his elders, steals a mystical blade and sets off on a quest to restore peace and order. The gameplay of Legend of K is a good old mix of platforming and combat. Players navigate through various environments from swamps to cities, battling a diverse array of enemies including rats, crocodiles, and gorillas. The combat system is fluid, allowing for a variety of moves and combos that keep the action engaging. The platforming elements are well designed, with puzzles and obstacles that challenge players without becoming frustrating. The soundtrack complements the game's setting perfectly, enhancing the sense of adventure and urgency in K's quest. Graphically, the game was impressive for its time, with vibrant, colourful environments and well-animated characters. The remastered Legend of K Anniversary version, released on multiple platforms including the Nintendo Switch, brought improved graphics and online leaderboards, though it retained some of the original's camera issues and dated voice acting. Upon its release, Legend of K received generally positive reviews, with praise for its engaging gameplay and engaging world, though some noted that it didn't quite reach the heights of other platformers of the era. For those who appreciate a good underdog story and enjoy exploring vibrant, fantastical worlds, well, this game's a journey worth taking. Echo Night Beyond, 2004. Echo Night Beyond is a unique survival horror adventure that stands out in the PlayStation 2 library. The game, known in Japan as Nebula Echo Night, is a gripping sci-fi ghost tale set on the moon, where players assume the role of Richard Osmond, a newlywed separated from his wife Claudia after the shuttle crashes on a lunar research base. The narrative unfolds as Richard navigates the eerie, abandoned station, encountering restless spirits and uncovering the dark secrets of the facility. Gameplay in Echo Night Beyond is distinctively tense and atmospheric. Unlike typical first-person games, there are no firearms. Instead, players must avoid ghosts to prevent a fatal heart attack. The spacesuit's flashlight, which requires battery management, adds to the sense of vulnerability. Ghosts can only be defeated by clearing the mist they inhabit, using control panels to activate the ventilation system. The game also involves purifying the souls of the dead by finding and returning their personal items. The music and sound design are integral to the game's chilling atmosphere. The score enhances the sense of isolation and dread, perfectly complementing the game's visual and narrative elements. Graphically, Echo Night Beyond leverages the PS2's capabilities to create a convincingly isolated lunar environment. The lack of direct combat forces players to think strategically and heightens the tension, making every encounter with a ghost a nerve-wracking experience. Despite receiving mixed reviews, Echo Night Beyond has garnered a cult following. Critics praised its atmosphere and storytelling, but noted its slow pace and lack of traditional action elements. However, these very aspects are what makes it a hidden gem on the PS2. The game's ability to create a sense of dread and its unique approach to survival horror make it a memorable experience. Kill Switch, 2004. Kill Switch is a third-person shooter that made waves with its innovative cover system. The game was built using the renderware, and its production was notable for its focus on creating a dynamic and engaging combat experience, which was a significant departure from the more static shooters of the time. The story of Kill Switch centers on Nick Bishop, a super soldier controlled by a neural connection by a mysterious figure known as Controller. The plot unfolds as Bishop is manipulated into missions designed to incite conflict between the North and the West. As Bishop's suppressed memories resurface, he discovers that his wife was killed by Archer, who plans to sell the technology controlling him. The narrative reaches its climax when Bishop, regaining his autonomy, confronts and kills Archer, bringing a personal vendetta to a close. Gameplay in Kill Switch is where the game truly shines. The cover system, which allows players to take cover behind objects and fire blindly, was revolutionary at the time and has since influenced many other games including Gears of War and Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. This mechanic added a layer of strategy and realism, making firefights more intense and engaging. The game also features a variety of weapons and environments, keeping the action fresh and exciting. Kevin Manthey's musical score complements the game's intense atmosphere, enhancing the overall experience with a fittingly dramatic soundtrack. Graphically, Kill Switch was impressive for its time, particularly on the Xbox, which boasted enhanced visuals compared to the PS2 version. The environments, though somewhat repetitive, were well designed and contributed to the immersive experience. Upon release, Kill Switch received mixed to favorable reviews, with critics praising its gameplay mechanics but criticizing its thin plot and simplistic level design, highlighting the engaging cover system but noting the game's lack of depth in other areas. Despite its flaws, Kill Switch has left a lasting legacy in the shooter genre. Airblade, 2002. Airblade was built on the renderware engine, the same tech behind the Burnout series. and is the spiritual successor to the Dreamcast's trick style. The game's production was marked by the ambition to create a hoverboard experience that combined high-octane action with the trick-based gameplay popularized by the Tony Hawk series. The story of Airblade is a classic underdog tale. Oscar, an inventor, creates a revolutionary hoverboard powered by a new energy source that threatens the fossil fuel industry. When the GCP Corporation shuts down his project and kidnaps him, his roommate Ethan, a skater, discovers the Airblade and, with the help of his hacker friend Kat, sets out to rescue Oscar and thwart the corporation's plans. Gameplay in Airblade is where the game truly shines. Players control Ethan as he zips through various levels, completing challenges like knocking out henchmen or destroying searchlights. The game emphasizes tricks and combos, which fill up a boost gauge, allowing Ethan to move faster and jump higher. The controls are tight and the trick system is intuitive, making it easy to pull off impressive stunts. The game also features a multiplayer mode with unique modes like Ribbon Tag, adding to its replayability. The music in Airblade complements its fast-paced gameplay, featuring a mix of energetic tracks that keep the adrenaline pumping. Graphically, the game was impressive for its time, showcasing the capabilities of the renderware engine with detailed environments and smooth animations. The visual style, while not groundbreaking, was clean and vibrant, fitting the game's futuristic theme. The game was praised for its controls and graphics, but criticized its difficulty and linearity, with some highlighting the game's fun mechanics but noting the frustration of having to restart levels if a single challenge was missed. Despite its mixed reception, Airblade is considered a PS2 gem for its innovative gameplay and the sheer fun of its hoverboard mechanics. Tokobot Plus, 2006. Tokobot Plus, Mysteries of the Karakuri, is a puzzle platformer that follows the adventures of Bolt, an agent from Kanewood's lab who stumbles upon ancient Karakuri robots known as Tokobots during his research expedition. These Tokobots, including the prototype Zero, are central to the game's plot, which revolves around preventing Zero from unleashing destruction upon the world. The narrative is enriched by the presence of three human villains, Flames, Bart, and Colonel Fuel, each commanding their own formidable Karakuri robots. Players control Bolt and utilize the Tokobots to navigate through prehistoric ruins. The Tokobots mimic Bolt's actions and can be combined in various joint actions to perform complex tasks, such as activating gears or shooting laser beams. This mechanic adds a layer of strategy and creativity, as players must figure out the best combinations to progress through the game. Visually, Tokobot Plus is a treat for the eyes, with its vibrant and colorful graphics that bring the ancient ruins and characters to life. The art style is whimsical and fits perfectly with the game's light-hearted tone. The music complements the visuals well, featuring a catchy and upbeat soundtrack that keeps players engaged and entertained throughout the journey. The expanded version on the PS2 also tweaks the overdrive forms, making them appear briefly for attacks, which adds a dynamic element to the gameplay. Reception-wise, Tokobot Plus received mixed to average reviews. Critics praised the game's innovative mechanics and presentation, but noted some repetitive elements and a lack of depth in certain areas. Despite its mixed reviews, Tokobot Plus Mysteries of the Karakuri is a worthwhile experience, even today. Hypersonic Extreme, 2003. G-Surfers, also known as HSX Hypersonic Extreme in North America, is a futuristic racing game drawing heavy inspiration from iconic titles like F-Zero and Wipeout. G-Surfers aims to deliver a high-speed, adrenaline-pumping racing experience. The game doesn't focus much on a traditional storyline, instead immersing players in the thrill of anti-gravity racing across 30 intricately designed tracks. Players can choose from 15 different crafts, each with unique attributes, and must navigate through a series of 5 racing series, each comprising 6 tracks. The tracks are a roller coaster of twists, turns, loops, corkscrews, and jumps, demanding precision and quick reflexes to avoid falling off or hitting obstacles. The inclusion of boost and health icons scattered throughout the tracks adds a strategic layer to the high-speed chaos. One of the standout features of G-Surfers is the track edit mode, which allows players to create their own tracks using a variety of objects. This mode's complemented by tutorials that guide players through the track building process, adding a creative dimension to the game. Additionally, the game offers a 2-player split-screen mode, as well as time trial and cup racing modes for solo players. Visually, G-Surfers is a mixed bag. While the graphics are vibrant and the sense of speed is well captured, some critics felt that the visual design lacked the polish seen in its inspirations. The music, on the other hand, is a pulsating mix of electronic beats that fits the futuristic theme perfectly, keeping players engaged and their adrenaline levels high. The game also faced criticism for its difficulty curve and the potential for frustration when players repeatedly fall off tracks or damage the crafts. Reviewers appreciated the game's speed and track design, while others found it lacking in innovation and depth. Despite its mixed reviews, G-Surfers holds a special place in the hearts of many PS2 enthusiasts. Its unique track editor, combined with the sheer thrill of high-speed racing, makes it a memorable experience.
Awesome! Another amazing performance from Haley.
Splashdown, Rides Gone Wild, 2003. Splashdown Rides Gone Wild is a jet ski racing game developed as a sequel to the original Splashdown and takes the aquatic racing experience to new heights with its vibrant and imaginative tracks, engaging gameplay, and a variety of modes that keep players coming back for more. The game features a career mode where players can earn points by winning races, which can then be used to upgrade the jet skis or purchase new ones. This mode, along with arcade, training, and multiplayer options, ensures that there's always something to do, whether you're a solo player or looking to compete with friends. Splashdown offers a variety of tracks that are not just visually stunning but also creatively designed. Players race through fantastical environments like parrot-infested waters, dinosaur-filled jungles, and even a haunted amusement park. Each track is filled with jumps, shortcuts, and obstacles that keep the races exciting and unpredictable. The controls are tight and responsive, making it easy to pull off tricks and navigate the treacherous waters. Musically, the game features an energetic soundtrack that perfectly complements the fast-paced racing action. The upbeat tunes keep the adrenaline flowing and add to the overall excitement of the game. The sound effects, from the roar of the jet skis to the splash of the water, are equally well done, immersing players in the aquatic racing experience. Graphically, Splashdown Rides Gone Wild is a feast for the eyes. The vibrant colors and detailed environments make each track a joy to race through. The water effects are particularly impressive, with realistic waves and splashes that adds to the immersion. The character and jet ski models are also well designed, adding to the overall polish of the game. Mechanically, the game is solid, with a well-balanced difficulty curve that keeps players challenged without being frustrating. The addition of tricks and stunts adds an extra layer of depth to the gameplay, rewarding players for their skill and creativity. Critics praised the game's imaginative track design, engaging gameplay, and overall fun factor. Overall, Splashdown Rides Gone Wild is considered a PS2 gem for its unique and exhilarating take on the racing genre. Raw Danger, 2006. Raw Danger is an action-adventure survival game that's a sequel to Disaster Report and continues the series' tradition of placing players in the midst of a natural disaster, this time focusing on a city being flooded by torrential rains. The development team crafted a game that emphasizes realistic survival mechanics, requiring players to manage body temperature, health, and resources as they navigate the flooded city of Del Rey. The story of Raw Danger is told through the perspectives of 6 different characters, each with their own unique narrative that intertwines with the others. Players must make critical decisions that affect not only the character's fate but also the outcomes of the other characters' stories. This branching narrative structure adds depth and replayability, as different choices lead to different endings. Gameplay in Raw Danger is a mix of exploration, puzzle solving, and survival. Players must find ways to stay warm and dry, gather food, and navigate the treacherous environment. The game features a variety of scenarios, from escaping a collapsing building to rescuing other survivors. The survival mechanics are well implemented, making players feel the urgency and danger of the situation. The game's pacing keeps players engaged, with a good balance of action and quieter moments of exploration and decision-making. Critics praised the game's unique premise and survival mechanics, but noted some issues with the graphics and occasional clunky controls. Even today, it stands out as a game that offers a different kind of challenge, focusing on realistic survival in a disaster scenario. Seek and Destroy, 2002. Seek and Destroy is a vehicular combat game that's managed to carve out a niche for itself among PS2 enthusiasts. The game is set in the fictional world of Q-War, where the militaristic Q-Stein Empire is on a rampage, conquering nations left and right. Players step into the treads of a rookie tank commander in the Proton Kingdom, tasked with repelling the Q-Stein forces and restoring peace. With over 100 tanks and upgrades to choose from, players can customize the vehicles to suit various combat scenarios. The game offers a mix of single-player missions and multiplayer modes, involving Battle Arena and Expert Arena, which test players' skills in different environments. The story mode is engaging, with missions that range from stealthy night operations to full-blown assaults on enemy fortifications. The ability to choose different paths and missions adds a layer of replayability that keeps players coming back for more. The music and sound effects, however, do a decent job of setting the tone for the game's various missions, with rousing battle themes and the satisfying clank of tank treads adding to the overall experience. Mechanically, the game is solid, with responsive controls that make maneuvering and combat feel intuitive. The upgrade system is robust, allowing players to tailor the tanks to their preferred playstyle, whether that means outfitting them with heavy armor and powerful cannons, or opting for speed and agility. The game was praised for its customization options and engaging gameplay, but was criticized for its average graphics and sound. Despite this, it's garnered a cult following, particularly among fans of vehicular combat games. Asterix and Obelix. Kick buttocks. Asterix and Obelix Kick Buttix, known as Asterix and Obelix XXL in Europe, is an action-adventure game that's a vibrant adaptation of the beloved French comic book series. The story kicks off with our favourite Gauls, Asterix and Obelix, along with their trusty dog, Dogmatix, embarking on a quest to rescue their fellow villagers who have been kidnapped by the Romans. The narrative's engaging and filled with the humour and charm that fans of the comics have come to expect. As players traverse through various provinces of the Roman Empire, they switch between Asterix and Obelix, each character offering unique abilities that are essential for solving puzzles and defeating enemies. Gameplay is a mix of combat, puzzle solving and exploration. Players collect helmets from defeated Romans which can be used to purchase power-ups and new attack combos. The combat's straightforward but satisfying, with Asterix and Obelix bashing Romans with the bare hands and occasionally swinging dazed enemies around like lassos. The game also features a variety of puzzles that require the use of a special torch and sliding platforms, adding a layer of strategy to the action. The music complements the game's whimsical tone perfectly, while the graphics, powered by the Renderware engine, are colourful and detailed, capturing the essence of the comic book series. The character animations are smooth, and the environments are richly designed, making the game a visual treat. Mechanically, the game is solid, with responsive controls and a well-balanced difficulty curve. The remastered version, Asterix and Obelix XXL Romastered, released in 2020, brought updated graphics and additional features, making it even more accessible to modern audiences. Asterix and Obelix Kick Buttix received positive reviews for its faithful adaptation of the source material, engaging gameplay and great presentation. It's considered a gem on the PS2 because it captures the spirit of the Asterix comic so well, offering a fun and nostalgic experience that still holds up today. X-Files Resist or Serve, 2004. The X-Files Resist or Serve is a 2004 survival horror game that brings the eerie charm of the iconic TV series to the PlayStation 2. The game is set up as 3 lost episodes from the show's 7th season, allowing players to step into the shoes of either Mulder or Scully. Each character navigates through similar locations but faces unique challenges and encounters, adding replay value. The gameplay is reminiscent of the Resident Evil series, with fixed camera angles, inventory management, and a mix of combat and puzzle solving. Players can wield a variety of weapons from guns to Molotov cocktails and must use a flashlight to uncover hidden items and stun enemies. The game also features boss battles and tasks like performing autopsies or creating antidotes, especially when playing as Scully. Visually, Resist or Serve captures the essence of the TV series, though the graphics, particularly the character animations, can feel a bit outdated and awkward up close. The atmospheric music and the authentic voice acting help immerse players in the game's creepy investigative world. However, the game isn't without its flaws. Critics have pointed out the repetitive combat, frustrating camera angles, and uninspired puzzles. Despite these issues, the game does a commendable job of capturing the mood and tone of the X-Files. Reception was mixed, with GameSpot giving it a 7.6 out of 10, praising the story and voice acting but criticizing the gameplay mechanics. Its faithful recreation of the show's atmosphere, combined with the nostalgic appeal for fans of the series, makes it a worthwhile play even today. Shox, 2002. Shox doesn't follow a traditional narrative but instead focuses on delivering an exhilarating racing experience. Players can choose from 24 licensed vehicles from renowned manufacturers like Audi, BMW, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Subaru, Lancia, and Ford. The gameplay is set across 3 diverse environments: arid, jungle, and ice, each offering a unique set of challenges and visual aesthetics. The standout feature of Shox is the Shox zones, special sections within each track where players are timed and rewarded with cash based on their performance, categorized into bronze, silver, and gold placements. This adds a layer of excitement and replayability as players strive to perfect the runs. The music and sound design in Shox complements its high-octane gameplay, featuring energetic tracks that keep the adrenaline pumping. The graphics were impressive for the time, with detailed car models and dynamic environments that added to the immersive experience. The visual effects, such as the Shox Wave, a shockwave that players can chase for additional rewards, further enhance the game's arcade feel. The handling of the cars is arcade-oriented, making it easy for newcomers to pick up and play while still offering depth for seasoned players. The game also includes a multiplayer mode, allowing up to 4 players to compete in split-screen races or capture the flag modes, adding to its replay value. Upon release, Shox received generally favorable reviews for its fun and engaging gameplay, though some noted that it lacked the depth of more simulation-focused racing games. Despite this, Shox has earned a reputation as a hidden gem on the PS2, thanks to its unique mechanics, vibrant presentation, and sheer fun factor. Spy Fiction, 2003. Spy Fiction is a 2003 stealth-based action-adventure game for the PlayStation 2. Despite its lack of pre-release advertising, this game has carved out a niche for itself among stealth genre enthusiasts. The game's plot is a rollercoaster of espionage and intrigue, following operatives from the Special Execution Agency's Phantom Unit as they thwart the terrorist group Enigma's plans to unleash a bioweapon. The narrative is rich with twists, including double agents, familial revenge, and high-stakes confrontations, making it a gripping experience from start to finish. Gameplay in Spy Fiction is heavily inspired by genre-defining classics like Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and Winback. Players can disguise themselves as any character in the game, adding a unique layer of strategy to the stealth mechanics. The game also features a variety of gadgets and tools that enhance the espionage experience, although some critics felt that the realism and execution of these elements were lacking compared to its competitors. The controls and mechanics, while innovative, sometimes felt clunky, which could detract from the immersion. Critics praised the game's ambitious story and unique gameplay mechanics, but noted that it fell short in execution compared to other titles in the genre. For fans of stealth games and those looking to explore lesser-known titles from the PS2 era, Spy Fiction offers a unique and engaging adventure that stands the test of time. Dual Hearts, 2002. Dual Hearts is an action-adventure game that's managed to carve out a niche for itself among fans of the genre, whose story kicks off with Rumble, a treasure hunter on a quest for the Dreamstone on Sono Island. Simultaneously, Tumble, a magical dream creature known as a Baku, is tasked by the Dream Queen to protect dream orbs. Their paths cross, leading to an unlikely partnership where Rumble uses Tumble to delve into various dreams, which often turn into nightmarish realms filled with monsters. This narrative setup provides a delightful mix of real-world and dream-world adventures, keeping players engaged with its imaginative premise. Gameplay in Dual Hearts is a blend of platforming and action RPG mechanics. Players control Rumble, who can explore both the real world and the dream world with the help of Tumble. The dream sequences are particularly noteworthy, as they transform into challenging nightmares that test the player's skills. The game's mechanics are straightforward yet satisfying, with a mix of combat, puzzle solving, and exploration that keeps the experience fresh throughout. Graphically, Dual Hearts may not push the PS2 to its limits, but its colourful and vibrant art style is charming and fits the game's fantastical theme well. The character designs and dreamscapes are particularly well crafted, adding to the overall appeal. Upon its release, Dual Hearts received mixed reviews, with critics praising its unique concept and engaging gameplay, but noting some flaws in execution. It may not have been a blockbuster hit, but its creative gameplay and endearing characters make it a title worth revisiting. Snoopy vs. the Red Baron, 2006. Snoopy vs. the Red Baron is an interesting flight combat game that takes players on an adventurous journey with Snoopy, the beloved beagle from Charles M. Schulz's iconic Peanuts comic strip. The game's production is a testament to the developer's dedication to capturing the charm of the Peanuts universe while delivering an engaging gameplay experience. The story revolves around Snoopy's vivid imagination as he takes on the persona of a World War I flying ace, battling his arch-nemesis, the Red Baron. This narrative setup provides a perfect backdrop for the game's flight combat mechanics, which are both accessible and entertaining. Players can engage in dogfights, complete various missions, and unlock new planes and weapons, all while enjoying the humorous and light-hearted tone that Peanuts fans have come to love. Gameplay in Snoopy vs. the Red Baron is straightforward yet satisfying. The controls are intuitive, making it easy for players of all ages to pick up and play. The missions are varied, ranging from aerial dogfights to bombing runs and escort missions, ensuring that the gameplay remains fresh and exciting throughout. The game also features a multiplayer mode, allowing friends to join in on the fun and compete against each other in thrilling aerial battles. Snoopy vs. the Red Baron does a fantastic job of bringing the Peanuts world to life. The graphics are colourful and vibrant, with character models and environments that stay true to the original comic strip's aesthetic. The game's art style is charming and endearing, making it a joy to look at as you soar through the skies. While the controls are easy to grasp, there's enough variety in the missions and customization options to keep players engaged. The ability to upgrade and customize Snoopy's planes adds a layer of strategy, allowing players to tailor their aircraft to their preferred playstyle. Upon its release, Snoopy vs. the Red Baron received positive reviews for its fun gameplay, presentation, and faithful adaptation of the Peanuts universe. Critics and players alike praised the game for its accessibility and entertainment value, making it a standout title on the PS2. Aqua Aqua, 2000. Aqua Aqua, also known as Wetrix 2, is a puzzle game that's a sequel to the critically acclaimed Wetrix, and it retains much of its predecessor's appeal while introducing new features and improvements. The development of Aqua Aqua was driven by the success of Wetrix, which was praised for its originality and engaging gameplay. The gameplay of Aqua Aqua is a unique blend of Tetris and Civilization, where players build enclosures on a 3D isometric landscape to contain falling water bubbles. Players use various shaped pieces called uppers to raise the landscape and create walls, while downers lower the height of these walls. The game introduces hazards like bombs, ice cubes, and rainstorms, which add to the challenge. Players must also contend with the earthquakes triggered by overly high walls. The game features several modes, including a quick mode, an 8-level tutorial, a 2-player versus mode, and a 4-level story mode. The story mode includes boss battles where players must achieve a certain score within a limited time to progress. The graphics of Aqua Aqua are bright and colourful, with special effects that add a special touch to the gameplay. The ambient techno new age soundtrack complements the game's chaotic atmosphere, although it can become repetitive over time. The sound effects are crisp and clear, adding to the overall experience. Critics generally received Aqua Aqua positively, praising its addictiveness, graphics, and sound. However, some criticism was directed at the steep learning curve, the short length of the story mode, and the fixed camera angle, which made piece placement tricky. Despite these issues, Aqua Aqua was highlighted as one of the best puzzle games on the PlayStation 2, with its versus mode being particularly lauded for its challenge and addictiveness. Micro Machines V4, 2006. Micro Machines V4 is a racing game that's part of the beloved Micro Machines series, known for its unique take on racing with miniature toy cars. The production of Micro Machines V4 aimed to capture the charm and excitement of its predecessors while introducing new elements to keep the gameplay fresh and engaging. The gameplay in Micro Machines V4 is both nostalgic and innovative. Players control tiny toy vehicles racing through imaginative courses set in everyday environments like pool tables, bathtubs, and furniture. The objective is straightforward: beat other racers to the finish line. However, the game introduces an interesting twist where players can win by driving far enough ahead to push opponents off the screen, earning points in the process. With 750 vehicles to collect, the game offers a vast array of options for players to explore. Power-ups scattered along the tracks add another layer of strategy, with items like hammers, plasma cannons, and health pills providing both offensive and defensive capabilities. The health system is particularly noteworthy, as losing wheels due to damage affects the car's performance, adding a tactical element to the races. Some critics noted that the graphics felt dated and lacked the polish seen in other contemporary racing games. Mechanically, the game's solid, though it has its flaws. The shared screen mechanic can both be a blessing and a curse, as it adds tension but can also lead to frustration, especially with the trial and error nature of some tracks. The camera view was another point of contention, with some players finding it difficult to navigate certain courses effectively. Reception for Micro Machines V4 was mixed. IGN gave it a 7 out of 10, praising it as the strongest entry in the series since its NES debut, particularly for younger and less experienced gamers. GameSpot, however, was less enthusiastic, giving it a 5.5 out of 10 and criticizing the generic nature of the cars and the gameplay's reliance on trial and error. Despite these critiques, the game has a certain draw that resonates with fans of the series. Kim Possible, What's the Switch? 2006. Disney's Kim Possible, What's the Switch is an action platformer that brings the beloved animated series to life on the PlayStation 2. The production quality is evident from the get-go, with voice acting from the original cast adding an authentic touch that fans of the show will appreciate. The story kicks off with Kim Possible and her trusty sidekick Ronstoppable arriving at Monkey Fist's castle to thwart Dr. Draken and Shigo's latest scheme involving a mystical monkey idol. However, things take a twist when Ron and Draken accidentally switch bodies, thanks to the idol. This sets off a globe-trotting adventure where Kim and Shigo must reluctantly team up to retrieve the idol from Professor Dementor and restore their friends to their rightful bodies. The narrative is engaging and filled with the humor and charm that made the TV series a hit. Gameplay-wise, What's the Switch offers a mix of platforming and puzzle solving. Players switch between Kim and Shigo, each with unique abilities that must be used to overcome various obstacles and enemies. The controls are intuitive, making it easy to pull off Kim's acrobatic moves or Shigo's powerful attacks. The inclusion of Rufus, Ron's pet naked mole rat, as a playable character in certain segments adds a fun twist to the gameplay. The music and sound design are top-notch, featuring catchy tunes that complement the action and enhance the overall experience. Mechanically, the game's solid, with responsive controls and a well-balanced difficulty curve that keeps players engaged without becoming frustrating. The level design is varied, offering a good mix of combat, platforming, and puzzle solving that keeps the gameplay fresh throughout. Upon its release, What's the Switch received generally favorable reviews, praised for its faithful adaptation of the source material and enjoyable gameplay. It was even nominated for Children's Game of the Year at the 10th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, a testament to its quality. Crimson Tears, 2004. Crimson Tears is a sci-fi beat-em-up and a unique gem from the PlayStation 2 era, set in a dystopian Tokyo of 2049. The game follows 3 bioengineered weapons known as mutanoids created by the Armor Corporation. These characters, who appear human, embark on a quest for survival after their home is destroyed, navigating through procedurally generated dungeons in real-time combat. The production of Crimson Tears is notable for its cel-shaded graphics, which give the game a distinct anime-like aesthetic. This visual style, combined with engaging anime cutscenes, sets it apart from other titles of its time. The game's music complements its futuristic setting, enhancing the overall immersive experience. Gameplay in Crimson Tears is reminiscent of classic dungeon crawlers, but with a twist. Unlike many games of its generation, the levels are entirely flat and generated on the fly using templates, ensuring a fresh experience with each playthrough. The combat is fast-paced and real-time, requiring players to master the unique abilities of each mutanoid to progress. However, the game's been criticized for its repetitive nature, which can detract from the otherwise engaging mechanics. The reception of Crimson Tears was mixed. Critics praised the game's visual style and cutscenes, but often pointed out the repetitive gameplay as a significant drawback. Despite its flaws, Crimson Tears remains a PS2 gem worth revisiting. Its unique blend of cel-shaded graphics, anime storytelling, and innovative dungeon crawling mechanics make it a standout title. Van Helsing, 2004. Van Helsing is an action-adventure hack-and-slash game based on the 2004 action horror film of the same name. The game features Hugh Jackman and Richard Roxburgh reprising their roles from the movie. The game's production aimed to capture the dark gothic atmosphere of the film, and it largely succeeds in doing so. The story follows the titular character Van Helsing as he battles through various locations such as Paris, Transylvania, and the infamous Castle Frankenstein. The plot intertwines with elements from the film, including encounters with Dracula, his brides, and other classic horror figures like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The narrative's rich with gothic horror themes and provides a compelling backdrop for the action. Gameplay in Van Helsing is reminiscent of the Devil May Cry series, with a mix of melee and ranged combat. Van Helsing starts with dual handguns and tojo blades, later acquiring other weapons like a shotgun and a bow gun. The game features a shop mechanic where players can purchase upgrades and new combat techniques using orbs collected from defeated enemies. The grappling hook adds a layer of verticality to the gameplay, allowing for dynamic combat and exploration. The ability to use enhanced ammunition and perform evasive maneuvers adds depth to the combat system. However, the game does have its flaws, including some repetitive gameplay elements and occasional camera issues. Reception for Van Helsing was mixed, but it remains popular to this day among hardcore fans. Nitro Bike, 2007. Nitro Bike is a dirt bike racing game that boasts an arcade-like feel, with physics that allow for exaggerated jumps and stunts. Players can perform tricks in mid-air to extend their boost, adding a layer of strategy to the high-speed races. The game also features online play, enabling up to 6 players to compete in races, either through random worldwide matches or by exchanging friend codes. Despite its ambitious gameplay mechanics, Nitro Bike received mixed to unfavorable reviews. Critics praised the game's fast-paced action and the inclusion of online multiplayer, but were less impressed with its overall execution. IGN noted that while the gameplay was decent, the presentation lacked soul, and GameSpot described it as a slow, clumsy mess. The graphics were criticized for being subpar, with textures and environments that failed to impress. The music and sound effects were also deemed forgettable, adding little to the overall experience. The reception of Nitro Bike was lukewarm at best, with it aggregating generally unfavorable reviews. However, the game did have its moments, such as the unlockable Crash Bowling minigame, which provided a brief respite from the main game's shortcomings. Despite its flaws, Nitro Bike holds a certain charm that makes it a gem worth revisiting on the PlayStation 2. Mr. Mosquito, 2001. Mr. Mosquito is a quirky simulation and stealth game that stands out for its unique premise and gameplay. The story revolves around a mosquito named Mr. Mosquito, who's taken up residence in the Yamada family's home. The player's objective is to help Mr. Mosquito stock up on blood to survive the winter, which involves sucking blood from various family members without being detected. The gameplay is both simple and challenging. Players must navigate through different rooms in the Yamada household, each stage requiring them to suck blood from specific body parts of the family members. The challenge lies in managing the stress levels of the victims. Sucking too fast or too slow can alert them, leading to a battle mode where the mosquito must hit pressure points to calm the agitated human. The game's mechanics are straightforward but require precision and timing, making each stage a delicate balance of stealth and strategy. Visually, Mr. Mosquito is a product of its time, with graphics that are charmingly dated but still effective in creating a quirky and immersive environment. The character models and environments are simple yet detailed enough to convey the everyday life of the Yamada family. The music and sound effects complement the gameplay well, with a light-hearted and sometimes tense soundtrack that enhances the overall experience. Upon its release, Mr. Mosquito received mixed reviews, with critics praising its originality and humor, but noting its repetitive gameplay and limited appeal. Despite this, it's garnered a cult following over the years, often cited as one of the weirdest and most unique games on the PS2. Its sequel, KA2 Let's Go Hawaii, released only in Japan, expanded on the original's mechanics but didn't achieve the same level of recognition. The Thing, 2002. The Thing video game is a fascinating mix of survival horror and third-person shooter genres, serving as a direct sequel to John Carpenter's 1982 cult classic film, thrusting players into the icy, paranoia-filled world of an Antarctic outpost. The story follows Captain Blake, a member of a US Army Special Forces team, as he investigates the mysterious disappearance of a research team, only to face the shape-shifting alien menace that terrorized the original film's characters. The production of The Thing was ambitious, with Universal Interactive recognizing the potential of Carpenter's film for a video game adaptation. The developers drew inspiration from various sources, including Aliens and Half-Life, to create a game that retained the film's tension and horror. The game plays a mix of traditional third-person shooting and squad-based mechanics, where players can control up to 4 characters, each with unique abilities. Engineers can repair equipment, soldiers excel in combat, and medics can heal their team, adding a strategic layer to the gameplay. The game also features a trust-fear system, where NPCs' reactions to Blake depend on his actions, creating an atmosphere of constant suspicion and tension. Musically, the game is underscored by Keith Tinman's compositions, which enhance the eerie and suspenseful atmosphere. The Thing offers a variety of weapons and items, from flamethrowers to blood test kits, essential for combating the alien threat. The infection system, although somewhat scripted, adds replayability, as players never know who might turn into a thing. Despite some control issues and logical inconsistencies, the game manages to deliver a compelling and immersive experience. Upon release, The Thing received generally positive reviews, with praise for its high production values, engaging action scenes, and faithful adaptation of the film's themes. However, some noted its short length and occasional gameplay flaws. Marvelous verdict. The legacy of these hidden gems lies in their lasting influence on the gaming industry and their dedicated fan bases. Many of these games introduced innovative mechanics, storytelling techniques, and artistic styles that have inspired subsequent titles. These hidden gems highlight the PS2's role in fostering creativity and innovation in the gaming industry, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to be appreciated by gamers and developers alike. We hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.
Who are you?
I don't know. Who are you?
Perhaps a friend.